What's up, fly tires? Thanks for clicking on today's video. We got a good one for you today, tying the Two Wing Trico spinner. So this is a cool little dry fly, definitely a low riding bug for when those Trico spinner falls are on and they might be mating up still. So we're going to throw this on an extra long shanked hook. This is from Ahrex. It's similar to like a 200R. You can do the 718 from Firehall. This is the FW530 from Ahrex. It only takes a couple materials. So first thing is something you see me tie with a lot, the UTC 70 in black. And we're just gonna dress our hook back a little ways here and tie in that first wing. So I like the long shank on this, just gives a lot of room to work with. It's sort of a 2-for-1 fly, the two wings. So if you got a spinner fall and they're mating and falling to the water, they might be connected when they land. And so this is a good imitation for those specific situations. So the first material I have is a sparkle emerger yarn. This is the clear white. Great color, nice shimmer. But the first thing we're gonna do is tie this in right on the rear. And we'll do a couple wraps over the top, laying it diagonally. And then we're gonna straighten it out by sneaking down behind and X-wrapping right over top of it 2 times as well. And then you can kind of pull and position and get that to go 90 degrees right off of the shank there. Moved when I tried to show you. So and then we'll just kind of secure it. We can X-wrap around it a few times. We'll clip it off a little long. I'm going to trim it down, but this will make it easier to secure in place. And then we're going to tie in our second material, which is some of the Kapok, not sure how to pronounce it, but an awesome dubbing from Semperfli. It's a natural fiber that they have figured out how to dye. I guess there's a challenge in dyeing this material, and they figured out how to do it. Sometimes it can come a little bunched up. If you kind of fluff it out a little bit before you dub it on, then it makes it a little bit easier to use. But that's also kind of the benefit to it, is that it grabs to itself real nice. It's a very fine dubbing. So once you have it tied in, it's very hydrophobic, and it's not gonna absorb and retain moisture. Helps it stay dry, stay buoyant, ride high a little bit longer as you're fishing these flies. So if you use a lot of super fine, definitely try out this stuff because it's well worth it. And we're gonna use it just to kind of create a bump right around that wing. So like you would do on a single Trico spinner, up on the head, we're just gonna kind of bump the body out and create a little bit of a profile to it right on the back end here. You can also use it to sort of manipulate the wing, but again, just kind of evenly wrapping to create, X-wrapping to create a little bump there. Tricos are a little tiny mayfly. When they come out, fish tend to really key in on them. So you want to have some options in your box that you can fool them and take advantage of the rising trout situations. And once we're done on the back end, we're going to move on up to the front end. And I'm going to do just a small amount of dubbing. I'm gonna keep the center of this fly really thin. I'm gonna walk forward, kind of segmenting it into 3 pieces, the back end, the middle, and then the front end. And we're gonna repeat those same steps. So we'll take our same hank of sparkle emerger yarn, and we'll tie it in the same method. A couple of wraps, crossing over, and then X-wrapping right back across, like so. We can clip that. Again, a little long, I'm going to come back and trim them. And we'll keep them separated there. We can add some more dubbing. Fairly simple tie. So a good one to kind of whip up a bunch of so that you are ready when the Tricos come out and they're spinning and falling back down at the end of their life cycle. There's not a whole lot of Trico pattern variations out there. This is a good unique one, sort of like a cluster midge. It's kind of like a cluster Trico. And you can get away with going a little bit bigger when you're tying this one because it would be 2 insects grouped as one versus the little tiny mayflies that you might be trying to imitate otherwise. And this is really the trickiest part of it, just kind of keeping those wings separate. As we go here, use my bodkin to kind of separate them out. And then we'll sneak right in front to finish her off. We'll whip finish it. Pull that material back and out of the way. And then clip our wings to length. So I like to do them sort of all at once if I can. Coming up from underneath and clipping them square to start. And that'll help you make sure that both sides fairly even. But then as I lay them back down, I like to come in and feather them. If you'd watched any of my videos before where you trim some material, I always like to feather things just because you don't want a nice square finish. Nothing in nature is going to have that completely square look to it. No straight lines. So we'll just feather it out a little bit and trim them up. And that gives you a nice dirty 2 Wing Trico to take out and fish on the top water. Grease it up real good. Keep it floating. It lays on the water nice and flat. You get those splayed out wings that you'll see on the naturals and can easily fool some fish and put them in your net for you. 2 Wing Trico.